Okay. All right. So we're talking listing pre-qualification. All right. So when do I pre-qualify?
Before the appointment.
Before the appointment. When?
On your prospecting call.
On the prospecting call?
When you're setting the appointment.
When I'm setting the appointment. I heard something from the... Always and often. Okay. So on the prospecting call or on the confirmation call sometimes is when we'll do it. Okay. At the appointment, again, should be your second time. It needs to be your second time for sure. Absolutely, you need to pre-qualify the second time or pre-screen. Now, this is, and you don't have to raise your hands, but like how many people are really using a pre-qualification or pre-screening as part of their process? Not many, Dustin. Dustin's like, not me. Yeah, not many.
Send me that paper.
Yeah, email me, Pauly, P-A-U-L-Y-C, paulyc@kw.com, and I'll send it to you. Okay. Now the most, I think, honestly, the reason I bring this up is because I think it's the most underutilized, undervalued piece of the process for listing. I really strongly and heavily believe that pre-qualification really is a huge opportunity that people miss out on. Because it tells me everything. It tells me what's going on with their situation. It tells me what's going on with their motivation. It helps me understand objections. Who wants to show up to an appointment and know all the objections? Say me. Yeah, okay, pre-qualify. Ask some of these tougher questions, like are you interviewing any other agents for the job of selling the property? Nobody asks that, because I don't want to know. Have you ever thought about selling the property yourself? Nobody asks that. Why? Because I don't want to know. But what if they are thinking about it?
You want to talk about it?
I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I want to be prepared for it. And to show up, and if I'm not strong in that scenario to provide value to the appointment on why hiring an agent makes more sense to get more money, then I'm going to be flat-footed and I'm going to end up in trouble, and then you're going to go from opportunity to no opportunity, to a waste of time. And if I just ask the question, okay, so if you're looking at a question, and we're gonna role play this super quick with everybody, is if you're asking questions on the pre-qualification form and it makes you squirm a little bit, that's probably the question you really need to ask. Because I'll tell you, I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, you're trying to pre-qualify. Look, do I pre-qualify 100% of the time? No, I don't, okay? Should I? Yes, I should. Why don't I? I get lazy. Or it's inconvenient. Now, I have two scripts in front of my station. Buyer pre-qual, seller pre-qual. Those are the only scripts I have in front of my station, because actually you could just get away with those scripts and have a pretty good conversation at an open house with internet leads, calling around a listing for an open house. You could just use those questions to deep dive on situation and motivation, and I just get lazy sometimes and I forget to do it. I only partially do it, which is why I coach at Power Hour, because it really helps sharpen my sword, you guys, to like talk about this and teach this, because when you want to master something, teach it. And the pre-qualification is such an important part of you being able to be efficient and effective, because I don't get paid by the hour. And I want to, who knows what their listing percentage taken is, actually. I track all that stuff. Right? And I know exactly how many appointments I've been on this month, how many appointments assigned, what's my percentage. Like, I'm tracking all that stuff because I'm running my business like a business. And even if you're not going to go to that extreme, some of you are like, that sounds too much. High eyes. Okay? That if you just do this one thing and ask these questions before the appointment, I promise you, you will convert more deals. It'll happen. It's just going to happen. Okay, let's run through this super quick, and let's do a role play is what we're going to do. I'm just, let's see here. Okay. Oops, hold on. Okay. Okay, so there's a few questions I need to ask before I come out. Is that okay? Yes. I confirm property address. Sometimes I'm talking to people I haven't met yet. Actually, I mean, literally we haven't met, and it's over the phone, and they have multiple addresses, and I just want to make sure it's the address we're talking about. That's happened to me before, actually. They're like, no, it's not ABC Street, it's XYZ Street. Oh, great, I did a CMA for the wrong property. Bed Bath, not always correct on TaxStar Zillow, okay? Sometimes the garage was converted. What else do I need to know? How long have you owned the property? On a scale of 1 to 10, rate the condition of the property. What would make it a 10? That's a nice freezer. You know what I mean by freezer? It freezes them up and they're like, and they start thinking about stuff and they're out of this like prospector, prospect mode and into this like really thinking about what's going on, because they may begin to feel a little uncomfortable where I'm grilling them for all this information, and I want them to be more comfortable, and they start thinking about the property and what would make it a 10, and they tell me, they think about it to be able to give me some perspective, because I want to actually know, especially for CMA's sake, like what am I walking into? You ever walk into a listing and you're like, holy crap, I did not even realize. Now that may have happened because you totally got caught off guard. I'm like, how's your property? And they go, awesome. And you walk in, you're like, not awesome. Every now and again, they're like, it's pretty awesome. And you walk in, you're like, holy cow, this really is awesome. Happens not frequently. It happened to me last night though. He's like, I'm doing a lot of work. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I walk in, I'm like, pretty good. You're doing pretty good. Okay, so are there any known defects? I love asking that question, especially to prospects who I haven't met before, because they immediately retreat into like, no, nothing's wrong. I mean, if there's something wrong, they tell me, roof, foundation, I'm looking for anything major, but they immediately retreat and almost, maybe not the right word, but they almost begin to submit to the process. And they're just following along because they're understanding the gravity, the levity, the importance of like me being able to extract this information. Because every now and again, you get like a high D. Doesn't happen to me anymore. At the beginning of my career, it did, because I wasn't as confident in the conversation, and so I didn't believe in the process as much. And because people hear less what you say and more how you feel, because if you feel weird walking into this conversation, then you might get the D who's like, why are you asking me all these questions? And now you got to cover yourself. Well, because I want to understand what's going on with the property and how I might be able to help you more, and also make the process efficient and effective so that we spend as little time as possible and you can move on with your life. You can move on with your day. Whatever, okay? Where were you selling this property to buy another one? Are there any liens? Or do you happen to be dealing with probate or foreclosure? Some of those we deal with.
I think we need to add abatement on there also, as of late after COVID.
Abatement?
Yeah. A lot of people use the abatement. They don't know that they owe a second lien on it.
Right. Yeah. How many loans are on the property? Yeah, for sure. That's hasn't been part of our world much. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I was doing a lot of that. I'm talking about additional mortgages.
Another great question that comes out of Real Estate Planner is, what is your understanding of your capital gains responsibilities?
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if they're older and they've been living in the property for a very long period.
Yep, absolutely. I'm not an attorney, I'm not a CPA. I am not giving you tax but I should know something a little bit in regards to how many years out of how many years do I have to live in a property for it to be considered tax exempt from the capital gains tax? 2 out of the 5, right? I got to live there 2 out of the 5. That's pretty much the extent of my, then I'm like, and you need to talk to a CPA.
Well, I mean, there's more to it than that, right? Because if they've lived in the property a long period of time and their net, if the home sale is more than, they're a married couple, more than $500K than what they paid for it.
Correct.
Whatever, then they're going to owe capital gains taxes on the difference.
Right, because it's $250 per individual, $500 for a married couple.
Right. Right.
Yep.
Unless they have a file of receipts of all the work they've ever done, so that they could subtract that. But I mean, you should just at least bring it up because it makes you sound professional and educated, and other agents aren't asking that question.
Yeah, I like it.
And then direct them to their CPA.
Good stuff. All right, we got to keep moving. In a perfect world, when would you want the property sold? What's the biggest benefit of selling the home? What's important about that? What does that do for you? I'm running fast because I want to get you guys up, and we're going to do a quick role play where everyone's going to role play with everybody to run through this, and I need 10 minutes to do that. So, but this is a huge part that 99% of people miss out on, is you being able to dive deeper into motivation. Look, motivation is everything. Motivation, no motivation, no cooperation. Like, that's where you're people who don't have to sell and they're a 6 or a 7 and you really need a 9 or a 10 in regards to the level of motivation to move a property right now. False or true? I need more motivation, man. And when you get to a point where you thought you were going to get 300 and the best offer is 270, guess what? They're going to take it. Yeah. They won't like it, but they're going to take it. Okay? I've been in that situation 2 times in the last 3 weeks where I drove a ton of activity and I said, look, here it is. We've had a zillion showings and the best offer is, and they had to take it. Didn't like it, but I wasn't the bad guy because I did my job. Market spoke. Okay, but you understanding, like, so we're moving to Florida to be with mom. Okay, well, what's important about that? Now, you might think in your head, like, you understand that motivation. Ask it anyways, Natalie. Just ask it anyways. That's your opportunity to make that heart-to-heart for you to, like, be in relationship with them. Right? All right, here it is. There's the door right here. And let me just pause here for a second because often they'll give surface level answers, or maybe they even haven't thought it through. And you're the first person to actually like kind of dive into this a little bit. So what's the biggest benefit of selling the home? To be near mom in Florida. Oh, what's important about that? She's getting up there in age. So what does that do for you? Well, I mean, my brother's a degenerate and nobody's taking care of her. And oh my gosh, wow. So what's important about you being there, though? I mean, being able to be close to her. Well, I need to, and then they start going into it, and now you got this emotional connection of that, not you to them to the motivation.
And to you for asking.
And to you for asking subconsciously, or the high eyes consciously. Okay. All right. What happens if you don't sell the property? I love that one. Okay. What are your thoughts on pricing? Well, you want to list at a price that will cause it to sell while still being able to get the most money possible, correct? Wait for answer. So what price won't you go below? Because sometimes they don't want to say, because they think you're like, you know.
I have a lot of sellers that when I ask them that question, I will say most sellers have in mind a certain amount that they want to price their property. And they won't give me their answer. They turn it right back on me. They go, I want to hear from you. They want to hear from you first.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that?
Yeah. So you got a handler? Go ahead.
So I know that you don't want to give me that number, but it's important that we're on the same page. Now that number is confidential. I will never share that number.
It's good.
I want you to get more than that.
I like that.
Both of us benefit from it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll turn it around and say, hey, look, I appreciate that, you know, you maybe, because what I hear more is like, well, that's why I hire you. I want you to tell me. And I say, you know what? I'm glad that you're beginning to trust my opinion, and I'm really looking forward to give you that. And it's important for me to understand your mindset as far as like what you know and what you think, and I care about that. So, I mean, just tell me, like, where are you at with, you know, how much you really want for the property, and then what price won't you go below?
We're not on the same page, then I may not be the right answer for you.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. We got to keep going. We're running out of time. What are your thoughts around our price? We did it. Would you like to give me would you like me to give you a net sheet to show you a best case scenario on how much money you can make when you sell? 100% of the time they say yes. 100%. And I go, great. To do that, I'm going to drop a net sheet for you to show how much you're going to make, how much you owe on the property approximately. That's where I may go into additional mortgages. 100% of the time. They never kick back on that for me. Never. I always get that. And that's how you'll make sure you get that. Okay, there's additional questions here on planning to interview other agents, how you have the right agent for you. This is stuff that I want to use in the presentation as far as stuff that they may be focused on: communication, calls, marketing, relationship, whatever. But I'm getting into their heads. Have you ever thought about selling yourself? What happens if the home doesn't sell? That's 2 there. That's in there twice? Yes, it is. Look at that. Okay, I don't read my own prequal. It's important everyone on title is in this conversation. It's important everyone on title is going to be is in this conversation. Will everyone be present? You got people that kick back on, especially like you got these machismo guys that like, don't worry about her. No, I am worried about her. Like, we need her. Or whatever, right? Whatever the situation is for marriage or family or partnerships or whatever. Very important. And that's one of my standards to make sure that I get that information, get that other person at the appointment. I'm going to be sending information over. Can you do me a small favor? And I get a yes. Please look that over. That's going to be my pre-marketing package. And my pre-marketing package is going to have the comps. of what's going on, and my marketing plan. So I have a landing page that has all my stuff. Google reviews, website, my marketing plan, the video I do monthly on my review of the market. What else is there? Contracts are there. Everything that they need to know about me and about how I work is there on that landing page. Any more questions before we meet? Probably the most important question on the pre-qual is any other questions. That's where they're going to give you like, well, how much do you charge? Right? Or whatever they're going to ask you. But that's an opportunity to hear about some objections that they may have in their head. Okay, our meeting should only take between 5 and 25 minutes. Is that okay? Great, I look forward to seeing you. Confirm email, send marketing piece. Okay, here's what I want you guys to do. Pick a partner, stand up. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to move through this fast. Okay? Like don't, no. Like almost speed read it. Okay? Because I don't, it's not as much as you like acting this out. It's more about you just internalizing the data and just kind of getting some of these concepts and ideas in. Okay.